It turns out that shut down in Windows doesn't actually mean shut down. Is this just another example of computer companies not trusting us to operate our own stuff?
Picture this. It's late 2025, and a story explodes across the internet that perfectly captures what millions have been experiencing in silence. Someone tries to shut down their computer at 11 p.m. Simple task, right? Just click a button and walk away. Except Windows has other plans. The screen displays installing updates with a progress bar frozen at 0%. 1 hour passes, 2 hours, 3 hours. It's 2 a.m. now, and the progress bar has barely crawled to 47%. This person has work in the morning, just 4 hours away, but there's no escape. Forcing a shutdown could corrupt everything. Unplugging isn't safe. All they can do is sit there, watching a progress indicator move at a glacial pace, helplessly waiting for their own computer to grant them permission to stop using it. Finally, at 4:30 in the morning, the machine powers down 5.5 hours to turn off a computer. When this story gets shared online, something remarkable happens. Thousands of people respond with nearly identical experiences. Mine took 4 hours last week. I literally missed my flight because my laptop refused to shut down. Lost an entire client presentation when the system forced a restart during a critical render. And the company responsible for this nightmare? Complete radio silence. This isn't just about inconvenience anymore. People are actively abandoning the platform. They're buying different hardware, installing alternative operating systems, doing whatever it takes to escape a situation where their own computer holds them hostage. Here's what changed. Previous versions of the operating system allowed users to delay updates, not indefinitely, but enough to maintain some semblance of control. You could schedule them. Choose installation times that worked for your schedule. That option has been removed. Now, updates install when the system decides, not when you decide. When you're ready to shut down and click that button, the operating system rewrites your command. What was shut down becomes update and shut down without asking permission. The choice you made simply gets overridden. Your schedule, your deadlines, your needs, none of it matters. The system has determined that right now, at this exact moment, is update time. The process itself feels designed to frustrate. Time estimates are meaningless. The screen says this might take several minutes, which translates to anywhere from 20 minutes to 4 hours. There's no way to know. You can't use the computer. You can't safely power it down. You're stuck, held prisoner by software that's convinced it knows better than you when your machine should be available. Consider this real scenario. A small architectural firm in Chicago runs 8 workstations. Friday evening, 6 p.m. Employees trying to leave for the weekend. Everyone clicks shut down. Simultaneously, all 8 machines begin installing updates. Nobody received warning. Nobody was asked if the timing worked. The decision was made. Without consultation, progress bars inch forward. 7 p.m. Still updating. 7:30. 1 computer finishes, 7 continue. 8 p.m. 4 complete. 4 stuck at random percentages. 1 employee has dinner reservations at 8:30. Can't leave. Can't abandon a machine mid-process. At 8:45, the final computer completes. Every single person missed their Friday evening plans because the operating system decided 6 p.m. on Friday was the perfect update window. The next Monday, the firm owner started researching alternatives. The forced updates consumed 20 employee hours watching progress bars. That's $800 in wasted labor. The decision to switch platforms isn't about finding something better. It's about escaping something that's become unusable. But forced updates during shutdown are only part of the problem. What's even worse are the restarts that happen while you're actively working. At least when shutting down, you initiated the action. Forced restarts occur without warning. While you're in the middle of tasks, the system decides a restart is necessary for updates. A notification appears. If you don't notice within 15 minutes, the restart happens anyway. Everything you're working on closes. Work gets lost, applications crash. And the operating system treats this like it performed a valuable service by keeping your machine secure. A PhD student at UC Berkeley runs computational models that take 8 to 12 hours. She starts one at 9 a.m., attends classes, returns at 5 p.m. to check progress. The computer is at the login screen. Restarted. The model didn't complete. 8 hours of computation lost. She'll have to start over. Checking the update history reveals what happened. Update installed at 2:47 p.m. Computer restarted. She was in class, couldn't see the notification. Her research was interrupted mid-process because the system prioritized an update over her work. This isn't isolated. Online communities have weekly threads dedicated specifically to forced restart, destroyed my work stories, video editors losing hours of rendering, programmers losing compilation processes, 3D artists losing complex simulations, data scientists losing analysis runs, all because the operating system decided updates mattered more than what users were actually doing. One freelance video editor calculated the actual damage. A forced restart killed an overnight render, 14 hours lost. At his billing rate of $85 per hour, that restart cost him nearly $1,200 in lost productivity. He can't bill his client for the operating system destroying his work. He absorbs the loss himself. Within a week, he switched to different software on a different platform. His reasoning was simple. If the operating system is going to cost thousands in lost work, he needs one he actually controls. Some users face something even more nightmarish: infinite update loops. The computer installs updates, restarts, says, configuring updates. Please don't turn off your computer. Reaches 100%, restarts again. Installing updates, 0% complete. The same update, again. Reaches 100%, restarts. Preparing to configure. Restarts. Configuring updates. The cycle continues endlessly. One user in Houston experienced this starting Thursday morning. Turned on his computer for work. The update loop began from 9 a.m. Thursday until 2 p.m. Friday. 29 continuous hours of the computer cycling through updates repeatedly. Same screens. Over and over. He finally forced a shutdown by holding the power button, booted into recovery mode, rolled back the update. The computer worked again, but that same night, the update automatically attempted installation again. The loop restarted. His solution? Disconnected Ethernet, disabled Wi-Fi, blocked update servers at the router level. The only way to stop the loop was preventing the system from accessing updates entirely. Support forums contain hundreds of similar threads. Users trapped for days. The official solution? Run troubleshooters. Try recovery mode. Reinstall completely. No acknowledgement that the update system is fundamentally broken. No actual fix. Just workarounds requiring technical knowledge most people don't possess. Even when shutdown succeeds normally, there's another hidden issue. Fast startup is enabled by default. Sounds beneficial. Makes boots faster. What it actually does is hibernate instead of truly shutting down. It saves system state to disk. Then on next boot, loads that state instead of starting fresh. Technically, the computer never fully powers off unless you disable fast startup in buried power settings. Why does this matter? Because hibernation state can corrupt, causing crashes, performance issues, problems that genuine shutdowns would prevent. And most users have no idea this is happening. They click shutdown thinking the machine turns off. It doesn't. It hibernates while pretending to shut down. This creates confusion or troubleshooting. Tech support says, try restarting your computer. Users shut down and power back on. The problem persists because shutdown with fast startup isn't actually restarting. They need to specifically choose restart or hold shift while clicking shutdown to bypass fast startup, which requires knowing it exists and finding it in advanced settings most people never access. One tech support worker handles 5 to 10 calls weekly from users saying, I restarted like you said, but it didn't fix anything. He has to explain they need to choose restart specifically, not shutdown, or hold shift while shutting down. Users get understandably frustrated. Why is shutdown different from restart? Why doesn't shutdown actually shut down? There are no satisfying answers, because the system made shutdown unnecessarily complicated for speed benefits that don't justify the confusion created. The aggressive update behavior exists because it's designed for corporate IT departments. Enterprise environments want mandatory updates to ensure all machines stay patched. Security takes priority over user convenience. That makes sense in managed corporate networks. It makes zero sense for home users who own their computers and should control them. But the same update philosophy gets applied universally. Home users get treated like corporate employees whose IT department doesn't trust them. You're not the administrator of your own machine. The company is. They decide when updates install, when restarts happen, what settings you're allowed to change. You're a user with restricted permissions on hardware you purchased. Someone buys a computer for their home office, works remotely as an accountant. It's their computer, their desk, their electricity bill, but they can't control when it updates, when it restarts, or prevent updates from disrupting workflow. They're treated like an employee under IT management, not a customer being served. They didn't apply for a job. They're a paying customer. But the operating system doesn't respect that relationship. This fundamental lack of respect is driving people away. It's not really about updates taking too long. It's about control. Whose computer is it? You paid for it. You own the hardware, but the company acts like they own it, controlling what software runs, when it updates, when it shuts down, what data it collects. You're permitted to use it only under their terms. And people are realizing that's unacceptable. Early this year, there was finally an official response addressing complaints. They're exploring options to give users more control over updates. Translation: nothing changes. They've been exploring options for years. The update system gets more aggressive with every version. Words without action are meaningless. So users are taking control themselves, switching to operating systems where shutdown actually means shutdown, where updates happen when you approve them, where forced restarts don't exist. Alternative platforms give users complete control. Updates install only when you authorize them. Nothing installs automatically. Nothing restarts without permission. It's your computer. You control it. Revolutionary concept. Other major operating systems don't force restarts. They prompt for updates, but don't install without permission. Don't restart without confirmation. Those companies respect that users control their computers. That fundamental difference is driving platform switches at increasing rates. The irony is, this problem was created while trying to solve another problem. Too many users never updated previously, leaving machines vulnerable. The solution was removing choice entirely. Force updates on everyone. But the cure is worse than the disease. Yes, forced updates ensure security patches install, but they also make computers unusable during updates, destroy work with forced restarts, break drivers and settings. The security benefit doesn't justify the productivity cost. Better solutions exist. Install updates in the background without requiring restarts. Apply updates during idle time. Never restart without explicit user permission. Never take longer than 5 minutes to shut down. Respect that users need computers to work, not spend hours updating. But that would require prioritizing user experience over corporate IT convenience. Enterprise customers pay the bills. Home users are just data sources. As long as that remains the priority structure, nothing will change. What's really happening here is simple. People are abandoning a platform because it won't let them shut down their own computers. It sounds absurd, but it's reality, and the company responsible refuses to fix it. So users are fixing it themselves by switching platforms permanently.